Someone who lied and
I'm not a revert. I'm not a Muslim. I'm somebody who stands against the lies and deceptions perpetuated by Islam. But let's go ahead and watch this.
someone who lied and said Islam wants to slit the throat of Western civilization.
If they refuse, then we have to fight.
Now I wish to address the Muslims, and in particular the reverts.
Let's see the true face of Islam when faced with actual violence. Violence directed towards somebody they oppose.
You'll see high-profile reverts like Sneeko, Sonny Faz, and Andrew Tate offering a lot of sympathy for Charlie Kirk and his family.
Yeah, those guys are the best of the best that Islam has to offer, and good for them for offering condolences. That's the right thing to do.
I want to caveat what I'm about to say by saying vigilantism is haram in Islam.
Ibn Ishaq, who is one of the earliest biographers of Muhammad, wrote in his Sirat Rasul Allah that there was an instance where a 120-year-old Jewish man wrote a poem criticizing, critiquing, and insulting Muhammad. Ibn Ishaq reported that Muhammad declared, "Who will rid me of this rascal?" When one of his close companions swiftly unalived the old man, Muhammad approved of the action. That's vigilantism. That's not the only instance when your prophet approved of vigilantism, but we don't have time to go into all those details. Let's continue with the video.
And what happened to Charlie is a crime in the Sharia of Allah. Now as to what follows. Having sympathy for someone who actively cheered on the death and destruction of your Muslim brothers and sisters in Palestine is indicative that you do not love for the sake of Allah.
Which is, okay, Charlie, we pushed back against the media on COVID, on lockdowns, on Ukraine, on the border. It's like, maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says. I've been in Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still had the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that is an IDF soldier, right? The whole country is surveilled. And so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu was basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. I'm not willing to go so far that saying that Netanyahu knew or there was intelligence here, but I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand-down order? Was there a stand-down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews. Did somebody in the government say stand down? That is a legitimate, non-conspiracy question. The whole country is the IDF. The whole country is. Yep. And you're trying to tell me that they're going to concerts and kibbutzes and schools and
and hate for the sake of Allah.
You see, your worldview is based on hate of the truth and ignorance of the same. You may convince yourself that you are just, but you're just ignorant. All right? Charlie Kirk was asking questions. Charlie Kirk was asking legitimate questions. He wasn't a hypocrite. He's posing the same questions about events that took place, calling into question the credibility of the current administration that is over there, all right? You don't think that put him in danger, calling them out, okay? No, you hate him and you ignore the fact that he was calling out that same administration that is now perpetuating this tragedy, this disaster on the people of Gaza. He was calling them out. I mean, I can show you clip after clip after clip.
The way you are treating me is so repulsive. I have text messages, Megan, calling me an anti-Semite. Some of the and you've seen how I've been treated, Megan, by some, not all, by some.
No, it's very irritating.
It's
been so unfair. They were coming after you after Turning Point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith isn't allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Well, you and I believe that we're Americans and Americans first, period. End of story. We are citizens of this nation, okay?
That's
and
right.
Israel, we have funded, we have supported, and they're up against a sea of Islamic totalitarianism, and we should be cheering for them, right? Because they're up against barbarians and monsters, and we want them to win. However, here is Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk combined, probably 30 million social media followers, like pretty, right? And you and I have been holding this down, and you probably get the negative, oh, you're just shilling for Israel. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do what's right regardless of the feedback, right? But then all of a sudden, like I host a person that I moderate the debate of, mind you, right? And I give equal time to Josh Hammer, equal time to a pro-Israel advocate, and my moral character is being put into question. I have less ability sometimes online to criticize the Israeli government without backlash than actual Israelis do. And that's really, really weird, isn't it, Megan?
The reason you hate him is because your entire worldview is based on a lie. Islam is a lie. And so all you have is hate and violence to retaliate against those who speak truth. And Charlie Kirk spoke truth toward Islam. Muslims openly admit that it is their objective to overrule the world, to oppose any sort of law based on shirk, any sort of law based on man's law, and to establish God's law, the law of your false Allah, your false God, by any means possible. It's no secret.
We are the messengers of the messenger. We are the representative of this deen of Islam. We have to be the solution. The future is ours. Every ideal nightmare of a Muslim Europe will come true. They can be as mad as they want. I don't care. America will be a Muslim country. Russia will be a Muslim country. Islam will enter every house. We have to be a part of that change. We have to be a part of that da'wah. We have to be a part of those ghuraba who stand firm on our aqidah and our practice and our deen and never ever apologize. We're unapologetic. Never ever compromise. We're uncompromising.
People are waking up to the truth. And when truth is spoken, those who believe a lie will either act out with hate, intolerance, or violence. Guys who don't understand Islam but have become Muslim, Sneeko, guys like that, they don't know Islam. Between me and me, huh? Between me, you and me, all right? He doesn't know Islam. But when he figures it out, if he's sincere, and when he figures it out, you're going to hate him too.
If you doubt the Prophet for a second, you're a full-fledged kafir. Get the heck out of my house.
Very open heart in those videos, and like I was very accepting.
You know what? Cut all the cameras. Cut them. If I say cut them, bro.
Non-Muslims say, Islam spread by the sword. Tell us that. So what? We gave them the choices between accepting Islam or paying taxation or facing the possibility of going to war. But to say, no, Islam was not spread by the sword, this is not true. What is meant by it is mentioned, which is to fight. To fight the people until they accept the religion or to pay taxation. And this is clearly mentioned in chapter 9. Okay. So you have to fight them until they give the taxation. In Islam, when we conquer a country, of course, there's nothing peaceful about it.
One who lied and said Islam wants to slit the throat of Western civilization.
When Muslims go and conquer the adjacent country, what do? We kill them all? No. The Prophet says, the first thing you do is call them to Islam. If they refuse, then tell them Allah obliged upon you to pay taxation. If they refuse, then we have to fight. And if we fight you, then we capture you, you become our slaves, and we take your land, and you take, because you refuse, I give you two good options.